Hello everyone from Chelsea Fan TV, my name is Alex. I'm standing outside Stamford Bridge after a 3-2 win against Leeds in the FA Cup. Charlie, I feel relieved. I feel happy that we won, obviously, but just, it's like when you sit down after a hard day's work and you go, oh my days, it's over.
Yeah, I think that's the best way of describing it, is just a sense of relief. The cup, I always said every time after a cup, the cup is all about going through. Like, it's not about how well you play, it's about getting through to the next round. We did that. However, there are things, and alarming things at that, particularly the second half, which we simply cannot ignore. We can't ignore those things. But ultimately, we scored 3 goals tonight. We just about scraped by, but we didn't deserve it. Let's be real. We didn't deserve that. We weren't the better team at all in that game. First half, we were okay once we recovered from the goal down. But then the biggest problem for me is, mate, what gets said at half time? Because second half, we come out and we look like we've never played football before. Like, one team in Leeds looked like they were properly coached, well drilled. Everyone knew what they were doing. Chelsea, we looked like a really uncoached side. No idea what we're doing. No one knows their jobs. And that, unfortunately, does come down to the manager. We got played off the park in that second half, mate. It was so easy for them. It was wave after wave of attack for Leeds. And we just offered absolutely nothing until we got that goal at the end from Gallagher. Nice assist from Enzo and a good finish from Connor. But ultimately, mate, that second half is a major, major concern. Play like that on Saturday against Brentford, we're finished.
Finished.
We're finished, mate. We'll lose that game if we play like that against Brentford.
Okay.
Like, we simply will. And that's not good enough, mate. That wasn't good enough tonight. I don't want to be I don't want to be too critical, because we've won and we've gone through. But there are certain things, as I said, you cannot ignore how poor that second half was.
Well, I want to touch on every aspect of the performance, but we'll go with the players. And personally, I think Mukryk had a really good game, actually, and he played more central, especially in that first half. A lot more freedom. Didn't have to necessarily track back like you would if you were a winger. Maybe that's a role for him in the future.
Yeah, I liked it. Tucked inside. Nobody chat to me about Mukryk, right? I've backed this guy from day one. There is ability there. There is talent there. Give this guy opportunities and he will show you what he can do. The geezer's completed 2 full 90 minutes since he's been at Chelsea from when he joined in January 2023. That is not enough opportunities to showcase what he can do. When you're a young player, developing, not particularly experienced, hasn't played a lot of senior football in his career, you need opportunities. And now he's shown in that number 10 role tonight, he was good. He got on the ball, he was more involved, he was making things happen. It's a great finish from Sterling's assist. And this guy needs more opportunities. He showed Pochettino tonight that he deserves to be starting more games. Now, if Poch gives Sterling the preferential treatment where he doesn't play well, he keeps starting, then Mukryk is more than deserving of the same thing. I was really pleased with what I saw from him tonight. Obviously, when he went out to the wing, he wasn't quite as effective, but everyone in the second half, the performance levels seemed to drop. But yeah, no one chats to me about Mukryk. When this guy comes good, I don't want to hear anyone jumping on the bandwagon when everyone's been saying, oh, he's shit, this guy's got no football brain, he's this and he's that. Don't chat to me about him. He's good and he's going to be a success here.
100%. And then you got Caicedo, who was slated by Sky Sports, Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher, saying the ball retention is shocking compared to what they saw against Brighton. Now, for me, it's not even the ball retention that impressed me. It was the way he was able to win the ball back and then actually, again, retain possession. So, in that sense, I think for me, it's very hard to justify the price tag, but we are starting to see a very, very good footballer. And for me, Caicedo is one of the first players, alongside Gusto and Palmer, to solidify themselves as really solid signings under the Bowley era.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree, mate. Obviously, look, let's make no mistake about it. We massively overpaid for Caicedo. That should have been a deal for £80 million that the sporting directors fucked about and didn't get it done, so we had to pay over the odds. It's been a slow start. He's growing into it in the last few months. He had a really good game in the Carabao Cup final, despite what the media might lead you to try and believe. And I felt he was good again tonight. Breaking up play, getting on the ball, passing is not too bad. Like, there's a lot to like about what he's doing right now. Are we seeing the best of Caicedo? Absolutely, we're not. But he's starting to get there. So, and I've got absolutely no doubts about his quality and him being, a big part of the success at Chelsea in the long run here. So yeah, look, another solid performance tonight. But again, outside of the Chelsea fan base, I don't think you'll hear too much praise for him.
Yeah, and then for me, I'm disappointed with with how it ended with Madueke, because I thought he had a decent first half, but it's like you said, summarising it up perfectly in the second half. He dropped off an awful lot, and for me, he was the worst out of the bunch, and rightly so. Pochettino took him off, not tracking back, not enough energy. How can you defend that? Because I'm struggling with a player like Madueke, because I think we all understand Mukryk, and he is a bit different, but Madueke, his ceiling isn't as high as Mukryk, but you know he can do more right now.
I don't think he was that bad tonight. First half, I thought it was bright. Second half, yeah, he dropped off like everyone else did. I'll be honest, mate, Sterling should have gone off before him. I'll be real.
You weren't impressed?
No, I wasn't impressed. Yeah, he gets the assist. Mate, Sterling's so frustrating. Like, he's shit. He was booed off tonight. There's some boos in the Matthew Arden lower.
I don't know if I agree with the booing.
I don't know if I agree with that or not. But ultimately, mate, this is a guy that should be grabbing games by the scruff of the neck and dictating the tempo of them and making things happen. Like he said the other day that, he's fully committed to the Chelsea project. Of course he fucking is, because he's on extortionate wages that no one else is going to be stupid enough to pay him. Of course he's fully committed to the project here, because he's not going to get the money he's got in here anywhere fucking else. So, again, just not good enough, mate. Doesn't do anything. Runs into player, loose passes, loose touches. Shit. Just get rid of him, seriously. Like, I'm fed up of him, mate. This is a guy that comes in and says, I'm here to be the main man, I'm going to contribute and stuff. He's just not fucking contributing at all. We're getting the level of inconsistencies from him that you'd expect from a Madueke or a Mukryk, not a guy that's been there and done it all in the Premier League. We're seeing absolutely nothing from him on a consistent basis, and it's not acceptable.
One strike too many.
Mate, way too many strikes for him now, mate. Get rid of. I think we're not going to be able to get rid of him. He's on ridiculous wages, and no one else is going to pay him that. So unless he gets a pay cut or he's forced out of the club, we're stuck with him.
Well, maybe he's off to Al Hilal, but they shut down those rumours already.
Yeah, that got shut down. But do you know what it is, mate? I don't want to say any more on Sterling, but ultimately, I think that there are more changes tonight in the lineup than I was expecting. Obviously we had to make some changes, because we had 120 on Sunday. It's a quick turnaround to this one. We haven't got the most options available, but look, we switched a few things up. Nice to see Gilchrist start. Nice to see Chalobah back in the starting lineup for the first time in a long time. But yeah, like Sanchez in goal for me, mate. I know I said that I probably would have given him this game. Mate, how shaky did we look at the back with him back in between the sticks? Honestly, I'm not even joking, mate. Under Petrovic, right, there's not been any. We haven't really looked shaky at the back. No sort of wayward loose passes. Not feeling nervous when we're on the ball at the back. Sanchez first came back. Within 8 minutes, we fucked it up and conceded a goal. Disasi with a loose pass, not giving it to Caicedo quick enough. We're nervy at the back, and I think that all comes from Sanchez. For me, there's no coincidence that as soon as he's back in the team, we look the shakiest we've looked at the back and looking nervous as fuck with his first game back.
Well, even the first goal, I felt like he could have got a hand to it, to be honest with you.
Maybe the second one, I don't know why he's not come for it, or at least try and make a save. I just hope Poch has seen the light and he's back out the side for Brentford, because this guy's not good enough, mate. Petrovic is miles clear of him, in my opinion. And I think, it's his first game back from injury for a while, but ultimately, mate, basics are basics, and he's not getting them, and we just look so nervous when he's on the ball. And I didn't want to be reminded of what that feeling was like, because I got rid of it with Petrovic between the sticks. So I think the decision's made, in my mind. It's clear as day.
Well, we debated it when Petrovic first came into the lineup, and we said, well, we've got to give Petrovic a little bit more of a chance. He's had a chance, and for me, he's been fantastic. I'm going to say it here right now. He reminds me of Petrovic. I see a resonance. I see stability. I see big moments. I see key moments where he keeps us in games, especially on Sunday as well. But yeah, nothing against Robert Sanchez. It's just you're not good enough. I mean, it is what it is. Just my last question for you, mate. I mean, me and you both defended Pochettino on Sunday. Probably me more so in the sense that I'm Poch in. But you still don't think that with the project, no matter who we have, we just have to stick with we have to stick with the manager so that we can find some stability. Yeah,
ultimately, mate, I think that the manager's definitely got things wrong and hasn't done well enough this season, or hasn't done as well as expected. I think that's absolutely fair to say. There's things that you can't overlook. Tactically we don't look there. There's no real clear plan of players not really knowing their roles. The side just looks really, really undercoached. It doesn't look like we're coached. the difference was night and day between us and Leeds in terms of one team looking well drilled, one team knowing what they're doing, players knowing their roles, Farker up on the touchline, sparking instructions. I know there's different managerial styles, but Poch spends most of the game sat in the dugout. It's not inspiring as a player mate, when you're like, maybe you need a little bit of something from the manager on the touchlines, and he's just sat there in the dugout. So that's something that I think needs to improve. But what I would say, mate, is we do need stability, absolutely. I think the biggest responsibility for the mess that we find ourselves in is 100% for me on the owners and the sporting directors. Yes, they don't set the tactics or they don't pick the players or whatever, but because of the squad we've got, that comes from the ownership and the directors. That's why, for me, we're in the mess that we're in, because they haven't given the manager a good enough squad to compete and achieve the goals that they believed are possible at the start of the season. So yes, he's got to improve tactically. Yes, there needs to be better in-game management. Yes to all these things, but at the same time, I stand by this, mate. Any manager in this position with this team would be struggling. It's as simple as that. Because of the way the squad's been put together by the sporting directors, because of the route the ownership have decided to go down, that is the biggest reason why we are in the mess that we're in. And for me, until that changes, which is not going to change, people can call for the manager to go. No real change is going to happen unless the directors are removed first. Because those are the guys that are doing the recruitment, those are the guys that are picking the manager. Unless they go, you're going to get a different manager in with them still there, and the same problems are going to happen. So for me, mate, it's, yes, the manager's got to do better, but the biggest thing is the directors and the ownership. The directors have got to change. If anything's really going to change at this football club, then the directors need to change. You need one elite director of football that runs everything, calls the shots.
We had one though with Vivell. He wanted to leave
because no one fucking listened to him. Are you surprised that he wanted out? Is anyone surprised? That people don't want to be at this club in this situation with how the team is right now. So yeah, the directors changed them for me. That's for me is the most important thing. The most important thing this summer, right? Other than a centre forward, get rid of these directors of football and get a top level director of football in. That is the biggest thing that we need to do this summer, mate.